Welcome to HubSpot, the podcast for busy marketers looking to get more leads and sales. Discover the latest from the world of content marketing and social media. Here are your hosts from the Kingdom, San Johnson and Adam Steinhardt.
Hi Adam, welcome to episode 44. Thanks for joining me.
Oh look, Zan, absolute pleasure to be here. Just so excited about the 4-4, the big 4-4 episodes. Let's get stuck into it. What are we talking about today?
Well, today we're going to kick off with a great topic. Evergreen.
As opposed to a terrible topic.
Yep. Well, I'm sure over the 44 eps, there have been a couple that have been a little dodgy.
Well, let's get the good topic out of the way first, shall we?
So we're going to talk about evergreen content, Adam.
Great, perfect, good idea.
Love to...
in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, wheelhouse. Love to help the listeners with what that actually means. A lot of marketing terms get bandied around and sometimes you kind of go, what are they on about? So evergreen content, it means content that you write today that is not locked in terms of time, season, trends, event, i.e. Christmas, winter, Valentine's Day. So
Autumn.
Thank you. Just rounding out all the seasons there. So evergreen content, why it's important, how you go about writing it, and what you can then do with it.
Yeah, look, and this is a really interesting topic, Zan, because a lot of people don't realise that they have evergreen content already on their website, in that everything they put up there, it's about themselves in terms of about us, what you do, why you help people, what the whole point of your platform is. So that's evergreen content, stuff that doesn't explode because of some event or time or season. And I think it's perhaps the power of this stuff is often forgotten about as people actually create it and kind of get it up there and forget about what it can be done, what it can be used for. So, but evergreen content, super important. Whenever you're writing, it's really important to think, right, what's the longevity of this baby? How long what sort of value can I get out of this? Because one of the key things is that it takes an awful long time for Google to index these pages and actually have them go up the rankings. A lot of people think that just because you create a page that suddenly it's up there and firing away in Google's top 10. But of course, that forgets about everybody else that's created pages that Google's already indexed. So it does take a long time to get pages up there. So if it's short life, you're in trouble.
We also like to do content clumping, which is a new term I've just created.
Clumping?
Clumping. Content clumping.
Right.
Which is where you write more than one page about the same content in different ways.
And so this is part of HubSpot's latest push too, which they've discovered almost by accident when they were creating growth-driven design pages, that if you clumped, it got better action from the Googles.
Well, you can't just write one page about one thing and expect that's going to move the needle.
No, and that is hilarious when we do get those occasional conversations where people think, oh, why is my stuff ranking? What you wrote it yesterday, where is it? Because how many pages are there on the internet? What was your last count?
Well, when I last sat and counted, I got lost at about 1,993,000,000.
So there's got to be a gazillion, like a trillion. It's like a gazillion is a trillion, right?
Right.
So there's got to be a lot. So obviously you've got to beat those other ranked pages. And I mean, that Google algorithm, that works pretty hard when you think about it.
Mate, the hardest algorithm you've ever seen.
I mean, it just doesn't give up, does it?
And unless you're a business that has zero competitors, zero people writing about your industry, you just, if that's the case, well done you. You've hit the money.
Oh, yeah, you definitely monopolise that little baby. Yeah, no question about it. It's like
one page, you'll definitely rank on Google, but that's not the way it works for most businesses, is it?
No. So the point of evergreen content, of course, is to get it out there, give it time, and give it a chance to actually start rendering some numbers. Now, this is where HubSpot really kills it, because once you've got HubSpot operational, then you're in a situation where you can actually start seeing what is working for you, what is converting. If you're getting call to action. It's call to action squared.
That's the CTAA.
If you're getting call to actions happening. And of course, rework and refine, reanalyze, so you can actually tweak your page to actually get better and better, be more applicable to search, and not just forget about it.
Rework, refine, reanalyze, you just said.
Correct, yeah. So,
wow. Gosh, we've really chocked this one full of some marketing jargon today.
Correct. So that's that's the benefit of it. Now, of course, it gets super powerful though when you start talking about the benefits of using evergreen content for repurposing of social media. So talk us through that little diamond, Zan.
Yes, total diamond. So there's two different ways you can do social media, really. Sorry about all the beeps and whiz-bang noises we've got going on here, everybody. We're in a communication hub right now. So 2 different ways of doing social. You can either be posting information that is in the here and now, so talking about the weather or a special you've got happening today in store or something that's right here, right now.
Valentine's Day and like Christmas Day as well, those events which are in the here and now.
Yes, them. Or you can be posting about your evergreen content, which don't forget that people aren't always looking at your page at the one time, your Facebook page or your...
No, and I think the key thing about this is that with evergreen content that you've got to be talking about how you help the customer with this content. And so that gives you the ability to promote using your social media channels the ways you can actually help your customer. And this is the page that references that gives them a link to click back and therefore gives them more information, which is super helpful for them.
Totally. So that information, once you've got that information written and up on your website, you can start turning that through your social channels. So Twitter, Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, and have that on rotation across 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever you decide. But it's more information. It's not just fluffy stuff that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's information about how your business helps your customers.
And this is definitely an area we get a lot of questions about, where people are sort of saying, well, what do you mean, like post it more than once? And absolutely. So we're talking about posting this content many, many times, just because the story that you're telling, if it's evergreen, which means it's still relevant, and if it's solving a problem for a customer, which means it's still helpful, then it still has a life. And of course, unless you're some freak of nature that's out there auditing every page on the internet
or
Facebook or Twitter, that means you've got a lot of time in your hands, then of course people aren't going to know that there's actually been a second or third or fourth posting that particular content, because there's so much content going on, and nor do they really care if you're actually helping them.
Exactly. Imagine if that information that you posted on Twitter got a click and you got a customer out of it. I mean, wow, that's kind of the whole point, right?
And if it's evergreen, it means it was good 2 years ago. If it's still helping customers, it's still relevant, so it still can get posted.
And the beautiful thing about evergreen content is that it's still tweakable. You can still go in and update it if something does change. Yeah,
that's the thing. So every time you get, and I think also, if you've got a website page that's got, say, 500 words, how many tweets would a person get out of that, do you think, Zan? 20?
Oh, absolutely.
So there's ways you can actually go ahead and get 20 different tweets out of the one page of content and get that stuff in rotation. So that's where you really need a powerful social media posting tool, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Having something to support your endeavour on social media is an absolute must. So there you are, folks. Evergreen content. If anyone has questions about how to start the brainstorm of where to begin with evergreen content, we are always happy to help you out, and you can do that by emailing us at thekingdom.com.au.
Plus, I can go back through 43 episodes of previous, because we have talked about this before.
This is true.
We don't know what episode it is, but it's out there. You can do a Google search on our website, you'll find it.
And this is a nice segue into our next topic, what we are loving. And I'm going to talk about a new feature in HubSpot today, which we will have live on our website very soon. This is Messages, which is part of the HubSpot tool now. So you no longer have to have a third party app.
Yep.
Messages. So living inside HubSpot, little pop-up window, chat icon. Hey, it's Adam here. How can I help you? Oh, Adam, it's Zan. I'm looking at... I don't know why I'm putting on a voice to pretend I'm a woman when I already am. Hi, Adam. It's Zan here.
It's a weird plug-in. It makes you do strange things, clearly. So it doesn't necessarily make everyone change sex. Like, Zan will keep the same sex with a different voice, like Zan just did. But ultimately, so Messages, it's been coming for a while, this one. They've finally got it out the door, which is great. Coming to a portal near you. Woo! So that will compete against Drift and compete against live chat applications across the globe. Now, what we like about that, it is beautifully integrated into HubSpot, because it actually is a part of HubSpot.
Well, it keeps all the info in the timeline, and if you are operating like a Salesforce, when I jump up onto the website, I can deal with the same salesperson.
Yeah, it's good like that. It remembers who it is, and look, I'm a big fan of the fact it's built in Aperol.
I know. They rang me actually. HubSpot rang me. Hey, Zan.
Oh, she's even got a bit of a jingle there.
Just a bit of a jingle.
Just to prove we're not making it up.
Yeah, they rang me and said, hey, tell us about the colours that you'd like to see. And I said, well, it's a no-brainer. Aperol.
All the way. Okay, great. So that was good.
Yeah.
Good release.
Messages, check it out. If you haven't seen anything come through in your inbox yet, I'd recommend going up to the little signal icon in your portal and clicking on that and just scrolling through.
Next to the hat icon.
It is next to the hat icon, you're right.
Perfect. Perfect. Great.
See a video there. And what about you, Adam? What's your love this week? What are you loving?
Oh, look, son, I am loving the fact that finally HubSpot's got the Android app out for their marketing tool. So the Android app has long been coming. So they've had iPhone for ages, which is great, being iPhone users. But of course, plenty of our customers have Android, and it is difficult to explain that it's not out yet, but now we can not have to worry about that anymore.
Well, that's a huge bonus for all those Android users out there. Good to see.
Super exciting. And plus, the other thing I'm liking too, Zane, is that we've now got inbound taking serious shape out of Boston in the last weekend of September.
Yeah.
So no pesky US election to get in the way of things, but still a massive political play, though, with Michelle Obama coming to play.
I know, how exciting.
So we had
They just keep getting better, the speakers, don't they?
and Brene Brown.
Brene Brown?
She's back.
Woohoo! I love her.
I don't know if you saw that announcement during the week, but she's back, so that's hugely exciting. So that's all coming up at Inbound, of course.
And of course, yourself, Adam, got your slot.
Yes,
registered?
yep. So speaking at 10:30 on Wednesday morning, great slot, straight after the first keynote. So pile on in. I've got a fantastic top secret session on ninja tips to get your HubSpot portal firing.
Ninja tips.
Yep.
Oh, I look forward to seeing you in your karate outfit.
I could well be turning up with noodles for everybody.
Okay.
Early morning noodles.
Yeah, fantastic. Very good. So that's what you're loving. And girl bossing. Talk us through it. What's happening for you in the big world of if you were in charge, what would you do?
Now we're doing if we're in charge of the whole world, right?
Yeah,
we've changed it.
taking
We've
the world.
gone on global here. Well, I've forgotten, so you go first.
Hashtag girl boss, hashtag global.
Yeah, what was it? What was your first one?
I'm going to speak about the perception out there that if you spend it, it will work.
In advertising land?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Just the notion that if you've dropped a K on Facebook advertising, it means people are going to click on your ads.
And you get deals. And that's the other thing too. Just because and this is a real issue, Zane. I'm glad you brought it up. If you're going to spend the money, there is absolutely no guarantee that you will get sales. And just because people spend it doesn't mean that's actually going to work necessarily. So you need a lot of intelligence going into it. But also the salespeople need to convert the leads too.
Well, there's a lot of steps involved here, right? So if you're going to run a really serious campaign on Facebook and you want to actually achieve sales, you've got to break it down into itty-bitty steps. What are you asking people to do in your ad? There's no point just promoting your Facebook page.
No.
Boosting your page.
Or going straight to the bottom of the funnel, like
Yeah.
buy me now.
Or saying, here, come and check out this 2-for-1 deal or whatever. You really, really need to have a strategy around that ad. So get them to the website, complete a landing page of some description, and then go about bringing them down the funnel using your automated marketing.
And sensible inbound practices. I mean, one of the things that hasn't changed in advertising land over the last 50 years is repetition and consistency. And we see a lot where people will jump around and say, oh, because we can bang out a Facebook ad quickly, that means we're going to give it a lifespan of 3 days. Give it 3 days to see how it goes. And from there, if it doesn't work, we're going to can it and not do it ever again. So you've got to be patient. You've got to give these things time. You've got to give inbound marketing time. Content marketing's got to be given time. Ad campaigns need to be investigated and reworked. And just because you spend it gives you no right whatsoever to getting a sale. It's a challenge, but it's the world. It's 2017. There's nothing we can do about that.
Absolutely. So, and then also think about yourself as a user on Facebook. Just because an ad pops up in front of you, so someone's obviously gone to the time and effort of exploring interest groups and all sorts of different things when you set up that ad. But just because it pops up on your feed doesn't mean that you have to click it. So
Yeah, this comes down to the obsession people have when they're advertising their products, that it's all about them. And of course, advertising is interruptive. It's actually interrupting what other people actually want to do. And so it is not something that's necessarily going to be clicked just because it's there, and it's not going to be bought just because it's been clicked. So there is a reality check that comes with that. There's almost too much excitement, isn't there? Like too much over intensity of the actual, we're going to buy ads, we want sales.
Yeah, and I think you got to look at Facebook and the advertising engine in the right way. It is a really, really cost-effective ad engine. But if you're going to drop, thousands and thousands of dollars on it, you want to have done some testing first and make sure that what you're doing is actually going to work.
Well, A/B testing, of course, is a great way to debunk the myths, and we've had a couple of clients in the last week or two be surprised by the results of A/B testing. So definitely something you should be doing. Would you agree, Zane? Getting the A/B testing working in all sections where you possibly can is a great idea.
Oh my gosh, like all the way through HubSpot. If there's an option to do some A/B testing, do it for sure. The results are quite surprising.
Great. So I'm going to take this one step further with my hashtag Girl Boss of the World. I'm not going to indulge in the funny accent you had earlier when you were being a girl, when you are a girl. But as Girl Boss, I would like to change the belief that the marketing process is easy and can be easily replicated by non-marketing professionals. Oh, yeah. So we see this often, the two go together. If the ad's not working, blame the marketing professionals, and suddenly let's go ahead and throw in the reception person to go ahead, the lowest level person to go ahead and do the job, and that won't take long to learn, because it takes years to learn the marketing side of things. And so the question, the challenge I have for businesses listening is, are you giving your marketing teams enough oxygen and credit? But also, what goes hand in hand with this, of course, is that the sales team, are they getting enough training to deal with what marketing is creating? So I think there's a bit of an HR challenge there.
There is a HR challenge for sure. I couldn't agree more. I don't think I can add anything else to that without throwing people under the bus.
Perfect. Awesome. Excellent. All right. So that's the under the bus edition done. Hashtag Girl Boss. Righto.
Good. Thank you, Adam. I reckon that's it for 44. What do you think? Got anything else to add?
No. Off to conferences in the US and all kinds of crazy.
Oh, yes, our tool. We were going to touch on that. You are speaking at an amazing conference next week in Queensland, which is obviously relevant for now. Retail Global up on the Gold Coast, which is going to be a fantastic conference. You're speaking. There are a couple of other amazing speakers. Well, actually, there's over 100 speakers. So everyone...
it should be absolutely off the chain. Looking forward to it enormously. So hopefully it's going to be great. Looking forward to it.
Were you going to make a reference to being see you in the bar?
No, not at all.
Very good. But that was my tool for the week, is make sure, if you can, that you get along to some conferences. Don't you reckon?
Well, conferences are brilliant because they actually are the best way to break into new ground that you otherwise wouldn't have thought of, because you're getting told the information. You go there, typically you're always enjoying it, having a great time on a bit of a high, and you're hearing stuff that you wouldn't go and chase and find out on the internet because you may not necessarily know about it. So I love the conference. The speakers are always great. All speakers inspire you, I think, generally, especially if they're good enough to get on the stage there. And looking forward to a different angle, a lot of e-commerce, electronic, digital play here at this Retail Global Conference. They do have it in America too in September in Nevada, Las Vegas, as well as Australia's equivalent at the Gold Coast starting tomorrow.
And Amazon are going to be there.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, like a whole entire river.
Yeah, the whole Amazon.
The whole
flowing
through.
Very
wet.
Thanks, people, for tuning in. This has been episode 44 of the Hub and Spoke. You can find us on Twitter at hub_n_spoke. Check us out on our website, thekingdom.com.au, and we will see you in a week or so with episode 45.
Thanks, Anne. Bye.
For all the new shows, check out www.thekingdom.com.au/hub and spoke. You have been listening to Adam Steinhardt and Zan Johnson of The Kingdom, an inbound marketing agency from Adelaide, South Australia. HubSpot Platinum Partners and the International HubSpot Partner of the Year 2015.